This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome in to We Talk Facts with 9-year NBA veteran and Nebraska basketball Hall of Famer Erick Strickland and two-time Nebraska football national champion Clester Johnson. Talking and taking names. Sit back, relax, and join the show with 9-year NBA vet and Nebraska basketball Hall of Famer Erick Strickland and two-time Nebraska football national champion Clester Johnson.
Here we go. WTF, We Talk Facts. It is another Tuesday. I know you missed us. We weren't here last week, but that is okay. We had big meetings here. A lot of big things happening on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. But no, we were not going to miss this Tuesday. We don't care how cold it is. We don't care where storms are looming. It is me and Clester Johnson, as well as Harrison on the ones and twos, here for another special night of WTF. What the is going on, Clester Johnson?
Feeling good. Cold. I'm a little chilly, but you know what? That can't keep a good man down. I'm gonna persevere. I'm gonna get out my snow blower. I'm gonna put on my snowshoes, and I'm just gonna handle business. Great ones adjust.
No doubt about it. Speaking about great ones adjust, there's a lot of adjustments right now that is happening outside in the SEC with the loss of a great one, a big fish. Jumped out of the pond just unsuspectingly. And his name is Nick Saban, one of the greatest coaches of all time. One of the greatest. I mean, we've got to throw Tom Osborne in the mix and others, but he's one of the best ones to do it. The way that he was able to make adjustments, the coaching tree, the continued success with all the adjustments and changes that were made in college football. Nick Saban bows out gracefully after having listen, he saved Osborne. He saved Osborne's legacy because, by way of just not winning another one. He also saved the Georgia Bulldogs from taking 3 in a row. He ended that. That was something special. And he goes out, I think in a special way. On his own terms, to say the least. What you say?
I say that I agree with everything you said. I had an opportunity to listen to Coach Saban's interview with Reese Davis, and he basically said, and this is what reminded me of Coach Osborne when he said he had a very high standard. And when he could not feel like he can reach that standard consistently, now because of his age of 72, it was time for him to go. So he had a high standard. He was very consistent. And he held everybody accountable.
Yeah.
So he wanted everybody to be at his level of what he was going to put into it. I mean, this man said he would work to 2 a.m. and get up at 6 and start all over again and still have the same energy. But he said this last year, he noticed at that age of 72 that it's almost like remember when you were in college, you can drink, you can hang out all night. But now at 5-0, baby.
Boy.
The recovery time is just it hits a little different.
It takes me a day or two. Look, I haven't stepped out or been out since New Year's passed over because of the fact that, body just don't want to act the same. I remember used to come into the gym and just be able to jump and do what I wanted and bang and dunk and And it didn't have to stretch and do all of those things, but boy, oh boy, the time has caught up with me, and it's that time has passed, and I can understand where now Nick Saban has gone. Obviously, there's a couple other big things, man. Listen, something special happened in the college football playoff, even though the game maybe didn't go the way that most people would have expected, Class. But you had an original Big Ten member found himself and actually won the college football playoff. And then you had an incoming so the Big Ten, now my question to you is, do you think the Big Ten now has broken through? Because they've been chasing the SEC for all these years. We've been seeing the double up of the SEC in the college football championships and so forth and so on. But now, is it the Big Ten's turn to shine?
I believe you're on to something. Everything is cyclical. There is a time where conferences dominate for years, and we've seen that out of the SEC. And Michigan reminded me a lot of good old Nebraska in that they would get to the dance, but they couldn't complete it. They would get to the dance, they'd be knocking on the door like, I'm here. Then they get their butts whipped. Then they finally got those guys in place that said, you know what? That ain't the big bad wolf. They put their pants on just like we do. We can beat them. Like, they had some games where they said, like last year when they played in that TCU game, that probably sparked them that says, you know what? We're better than this. And next year, if we get our shot, we're going all the way. So I'm going to tell you what, when they lost that game last year, I'm just telling you, their mind was set to win the championship. And I'm telling you, that reminded me of us. Because when we lost to Florida State on that last second field goal, we already knew right away we were going to win next year.
Yeah. Listen.
But to answer your question, I didn't answer it all.
Okay.
I want to see some consistency. Okay.
Right.
There was a breakthrough this year. They won a championship, but the SEC has done it for a long time. I want to see the Big Ten consistently being in it for the next 3 to 4 years is going to tell us everything.
All right, there's two things. One, there's been a void that has now been created with the absence now of the Alabama long time legend in Nick Saban. There's a void now that has been created. But one thing I want to touch on real quick, and I want to give you enough time to answer this question, is Nebraska, one, has been landing everything they've been won. It's like Christmas hit for them in January in such a way that they've hit on everything they've been needing, wanting, and add double to that. But one specific player that I want to talk about is the one that's like a cherry on the top, one that was an unexpected, out of nowhere comes an offensive lineman, which is one of the hardest things to land in the transfer portal. This young man has started 11 games for the Florida Gators. You're now going to get a veteran style of running of lineman to enter in. But not only that, Micah Maskua, right? Is it, how do you pronounce Maskua? Micah Maskua comes to Nebraska. But one thing I see, and one thing that we've missed in the pipeline, is just the nastiness. That young man is coming with nastiness. You saw when it was time to get them things up, he was ready to bang with whoever wanted to smoke. I think that's something that Nebraska has been missing, that they haven't had in a long time, that nastiness. And we talk about being next to someone, bumping and grinding shoulders and rubbing shoulders with someone that has that type of pedigree in him. I think he's going to bring something to the Nebraska line that has been missing, and he's going to inject it into this Nebraska line, that thing that we've been missing, and that's that nastiness.
One of the biggest difference you've seen in the SEC compared to what you've seen in the Big Ten, there's only, to me, been 2.5 Big Ten teams who can really play in the line of scrimmage on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
That's Ohio State and Michigan, and maybe Penn State, that can compete against the upper tier level talent in the SEC. You know, when I look at Alabama line, Georgia line, Tennessee line, just like you just said, they are nasty. They are big. They're nasty. And even on the D line, I mean, that's where the championships are won, E.
No doubt.
Right there.
No doubt. In the trenches.
Because everybody can get skill players. I mean, there's enough skill players to go around. But if you got a line that can make you two-dimensional on offense and can put pressure on the quarterback without having to blitz, I mean, you're going to have a chance to win every game.
Well, that's where Nebraska has always been successful. The fact that they can rush with 4 and get pressure on you and get sacks. And listen, to be real about it, that's how they beat Washington. Because they didn't have to blitz. They were able to sit back, play zone, make tight windows for one of the more accurate passers in the game in Penix. But they were able to get pressure on him with only 4.
We never seen him uncomfortable like that this year.
No, not at all. Yeah. And so that was huge. So that was one thing I want to talk about. Now the void has been open. Who's waiting in the wings, class, in the SEC to emerge with this void that's been open? Because here's what's going to happen. You've got one or two things that's going to happen with Nick Saban's departure. It's already begun. There's players that have been jumping in the transfer portal like a portal opened in Miami at the mall. and they've been talking about all this these things jumping out of the portal. But doggone it, right now, there's possibly going to be a treasure trove of players that may be jumping this portal now, knowing that Nick Saban's going. Because is it imperative for them to find out what coach is going to be there? Or because right now there's no one that you know is going to be there. You don't know who your guy's going to be. Well, what do you think?
I'm going to respectfully disagree. Another thing that Nick Saban talked about in his interview is that he's going to have an office in the building where he could still, he said, I'm going to still be yelling. You know, there's certain things I'm not going to do, but I'm still going to be around. He basically said, I'm still going to be around. What we want to look at, though, is Tommy Rees. He was the OC.
I don't believe he's ready.
I'm just saying he's only been there a year, but we gotta I'm saying we have to consider that could be a possibility. Yeah. Then obviously you got the D coordinator, you got the OC, you got the DC. The only thing about those guys is tenure. They ain't been around that long. You got Coach Kevin Steele, a former Nebraska guy who has been everywhere in the SEC. Could he possibly take over? And then we've also heard about them maybe possibly going after Kalen DeBoer. I think that's his name, from Washington. A guy from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, who obviously can coach very well. But right now, I just think it's too early.
Early to say it.
I think it's too early to say. But for me, I'm leaning towards there being somebody on that staff to continue the continuity of what they already know about the program. Because that's typically what happens. I'm telling you, that's typically what happens. It's very rare that they're going to bring an outsider in and disrupt the continuity of everybody who's already there, that's put in their dues. So I'm willing to think that there's somebody on that staff that may get a shot.
Who in the SEC is doing like Mr. Burns right now with this vacation? Not vacation where you're going down to Florida to go out and hang out on South Beach. Not vacation where you're a passport bro and you're about to head out to Thailand. Nothing like that. Yeah, not that type of vacation. I'm talking about a void that has been opened. We're talking facts today, baby. A void that has been opened up. And who's sitting like Mr. Burns saying, excellent? And they're rubbing their hands together because they're putting together the master plan. Who in the SEC is that right now? What team, what program right now is most excited about the opportunity of this void that is being created?
Well, you're going to have to say Georgia, number one, because the coach at Georgia is a descendant. He knows that he was there for 9 years. And matter of fact, Coach Nick Saban said Kirby Smart was his top assistant of all time. And you can tell by what he's doing at Georgia. He said he coached at a very high level every second of the day he was there. Very organized. He was an excellent motivator, and obviously he's shown to be an excellent recruiter. So I think Georgia moves to the top of the list. But I'm also going to say Brian Kelly at LSU. He now only has one real juggernaut to deal with the exception of the guy at Tennessee who's starting to kind of bring the Volunteers up.
I think Lane Kiffin would beg to differ.
Okay, that was next. But here's the thing about Ole Miss is like, they've been teetering on good, but they just been overshadowed. Matter of fact, I think that Tennessee had a better team, not this year, but last year, where they actually beat Alabama. Lane Kiffin hasn't been able to have that big splash win.
Game. No doubt.
He hasn't been able to beat a Georgia or beat Alabama where the Tennessee coach actually beat Alabama, and that made them go, oh, okay, you got to beat one of those big dogs for people to even consider you being in contention. So Brian Kelly, again, had taken Notre Dame to the national championship a few times, and he went to the SEC championship in his first year. So you're going to have to consider him. He's going to figure it out. So I'm looking at Brian Kelly as the sleeper, but I'm looking at the Georgia coach to ascend to the top.
That's Josh Heupel.
Josh Heupel at Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Kirby Smart. I say Kirby Smart is licking his chops. He's going, okay, I've won me 2 championships. It's now for me to take a shot at that 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get that 6, and I want my statue out in front of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Because Nick Saban, he got him a statue out front.
Yeah.
And I think Kirby Smart is now, since he's won 2, almost won 3, he's definitely gonna get a statue out front.
Being from Auburn, do you think Auburn is kind of like maybe this is our chance to resurge, be that out of Alabama again, being that they used to be able to get Alabama now. They used to be able to, do they thing, when Nick Saban first came on the scene. But now, it's kind of like they fallen off by the wayside. Do you think they have a shot of reemerging?
Well, my thing with Auburn is when they play Alabama, a rivalry, anything can happen. I want to see what Auburn's going to do. How are they going to be motivated against those other teams? When they had Cam Newton, they were able to put it together and dominate.
That's a fact.
SEC. The thing with Auburn, what we haven't seen over the last 10 years is just consistency. Like they'll have a good year, then it'll be down. A good year, it'll be down. So
there's been any consistency there.
They need to string together some consistency.
All right, so here we go. We've come to our first break here on WTF We Talk Facts. We're going to talk about the transfer portal, and has the transfer portal made players a little bit soft? We're going to come back and talk about that right here on WTF We Talk Facts right after this.
Start 2024 off on a high note by loading up on meat and more at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Haviland. This week's special through January 16th is a Nebraska ground beef case sales. 12 one-pound packages of premium Nebraska ground beef for just $46.99 per case and $1.50 off all McClure's brand products. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Lincoln, January 12th, 6:45 p.m. Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's throw down right now.
See Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Carlito, and more. It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale now. Ticketmaster.
Discover a healthier, happier you with Weight Loss Professional Nutrition. We are not about quick fixes, but real, sustainable change. With our advanced nutrition plans, expertly designed by our certified nutritionists, we're with you at every step on your weight loss journey. Step into the world of well-being with Weight Loss Professional Nutrition, where we believe in the power of smart diet choices. Visit weightlossprofessionalnutrition.com today or call 800-597-3991 to get 30% off your first month and start your transformation. A new you is just a click away, or a call to 800-597-3991.
This is Rick Heyman from Sartor Heyman Jewelers, inviting you to our new outlet jewelry store at 12th and O in downtown Lincoln. Amazingly, we still have fabulous items we bought 1 year ago and beyond. Well, you know what an outlet store is. Unbeatable prices throughout the store. Closeouts up to 70% off. Don't delay. When it's gone, it's gone. You won't see everything on our website, so you gotta come in. The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Opening November 25th in Lincoln at 12th and O.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Back to We Talk Facts on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Strickland Clester.
Hey, stay tuned. This is the second segment of We Talk Facts. E. Strick, Clester Johnson, as well as Harrison Arms. Arns here on the ones and twos on the mic. Can't see him, but he's here in the building. Harrison, how are you tonight, man?
Doing great. It's cold out there. It's going to be a little more miserable on the nights heading out here. But yeah, for anyone driving out there, just stay warm over the weekend. Yeah, those roads are going to be slick.
Make sure you have a full tank of gas too, just in case. You never know. Mm-hmm. You know, don't be driving on fumes out there. But class, man, this is a topic that we wanted to hold on to because you and I are built from the same cloth, and we've been hard nosed, and we fought the good fight, and we've had to battle our way, into success and positions, whether it be on the sports field or in business and whatever the stuff that we've done over the course of our lives. But let me say this: the transfer portal is something that we need to talk about, because it seems to me that it's continued to get more and more each year, jumping in the transfer portal. Like, it starts out maybe 1,000, 1,100, it jumps up 1,600, over 2,000, and it just seems to continue to be more and more. Now, the question I have for you, my friend, Sutter Heyman text line as well, 402-464-5685. We'd love to know what you think about it as well. Is the transfer portal making players soft as cottonelle, soft as Charmin? You can squeeze it, because of the fact of adversity that they have to face, don't want the smoke of competition, don't want to get in a fight and battle it out. Now, we see guys like, Carson Beck, who stuck it out there in Georgia, stayed behind all of the guys that came before him, and now it's his turn. Listen, I'm impressed even with Arch Manning right now, down in Texas, staying in, has a great valuation on his NIL deal, says I'm deferring and don't want to take it until I'm able to, put the work in to get out on the field. But what is the transfer portal doing? And this is not just in football. I'm talking about in basketball and all sports. Is it making players soft?
You can look at it a couple of different ways, because obviously I have experience with two athletes out of my house who have dipped into the portal. There used to be a time, like you said, where it just wasn't so easy to leave, because if you left, you had to sit out a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have the ability to say, you know what? They keep bringing in 4 and 5 star guys, and you could be a 4 or 5 star guy, but they're bringing in another one every year. Are you willing to battle it out and fight to become the man, or are you going to say, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else and take the path of least resistance? So I just think that each guy has their reasons, okay? And a lot of times, if you just do a little bit investigating, you will find out, right? You'll kind of find out what's going on. One of the things I never thought would happen, is here's where the transfer portal has really changed the game. You can get money, okay? So I'm looking at, say, the K-State quarterback. He goes into the portal. He wins a Big 12 championship, has a pretty decent year this year, goes into the portal. Now he's going to Ohio State. I see all conference guys, all American guys leaving.
You saw Jordan Addison do it, who won the was it the Biletnikoff? He won the Biletnikoff Award, and then he shoots down to USC. Yeah.
Yeah, so I see a lot of guys leaving for money. Is the big thing. It's the money. It's money over loyalty right now is what's going on. And if you have an opportunity if you come from nothing and you got an opportunity to change your family's life in college because the pros are not guaranteed, I can see that happening. I can see that happening for a lot of guys. But you do have a few guys out there where they're stuck. They're stuck behind some studs and they want to play. They probably have been used to being catered to. They're used to being the man, and they don't see a path to the top. I mean, if you look at Joe Burrow, right? Joe Burrow was at Ohio State. We might have not even heard of him. Now, he was at Ohio State, stuck behind 3-4 studs. And he finally said that last year he couldn't break through. He said, you know what, the last couple of years, he's like, I'm going to go to LSU. And look what happened,
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're going to have some instances where there's some great reasons why. And at the end of the day, I think like guys want to play, like you want to play.
Yeah. Well, I want the smoke. That's me. I'm built.
I hear you.
Yeah. Because I mean, when I first came to Nebraska, I was behind Pike and other guys. But shoot, I was giving them that work in practice. I want shoot. What's up? That's the way I felt about it. Yeah. But I'm like that. Like even when I got in the NBA, I'm looking at Jason Kidd and I'm like, shoot, Jason Kidd. So you know what I mean? What's up? I want the smoke.
But here's a but though. You did have Andre Woolridge. He left.
Yeah, you're right.
Even back when you played.
Yeah.
So I mean, it has always happened, Eric. It has always happened, but
so it's nothing new.
It's magnified now, and it's a little easier now. The biggest thing now is you don't have to sit out. And back then, it was probably a little bit more taboo thinking. It's a taboo thought to be saying, I'm going to leave, because I want to play. Most of them just sat behind. Then maybe their last year or two, they got that shine. But now it's like, listen, if I don't play my first year and I got to keep competing, I may take this path of least resistance over here and make more money. So it's just situational, man. It's situational. Like you said, you have a more of an old school mentality, but kids today.
I don't think my dad would have let me, just bail just cause, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he would have been okay. I mean, ultimately it would have been my decision, but he would have sat me down and we would have had a good long discussion. But I hear you though. I get it. There's definitely two sides.
Well, let's talk about Keegan Johnson. Keegan Johnson was at Iowa and they had the 131st ranked offense in the country.
Yeah,
right?
Bad system. Yeah.
And he's saying to me, like, listen, I'm never going to reach my potential, right?
Yeah.
So if he has a goal to aspire to higher levels, he may not get that same look there, So again, it's just really situational.
Harrison, what's your thoughts, man? Well, how do you view it? Being a younger guy now, you've literally come up in the NIL era. I mean, you didn't really get to see it back in our time when we really had to sit out. If you went in conference, you had to sit out 2 years.
Yeah.
You go out of conference, you had to wait a year. So it was kind of crazy back then.
Yeah, I think just with anything, I think it's just kind of on the pendulum. I think right now you're just seeing a plethora of players go ahead and hit the portal. And like Clester Johnson's saying, it's very situational at times. And you can't blame the players. If coaches can go leave for better opportunities, players get the same thing. But I do think there'll be a natural adjustment. Just looking at the numbers, 8,699 NCAA football players hit the portal between August 1st, 2022 and May 1st, 2023. That's a 5.5% increase over the last year. And that's just going to keep going up and up. That's almost double what it was in the initial year. So with that number, a 5.5% increase, it's going to get to a point where you're going to have so many players hitting the portal where I think that pendulum will start swinging back the natural way. But I think it's going to get a little messier before it gets cleaner.
No doubt. So check this out. When you think about the portal class and the way that it's been going now, do you see the parity that now has been created by it? Or do you just see basically guys just taking a chance and betting on themselves? Because what I've seen on the basketball side, it seems to me that it's created a lot of parity out here, because we're seeing teams, like if you just go look up and down the standings, it's really not that dominance that you used to see as much conference-wide, team-wide, whatever the case may be. Like the top 1, 2, 3, and 5 teams all in the same week have gone down.
Yeah. No, I see.
Yeah.
I feel it's a little different in basketball, because all it takes is a couple of guys here and there to really change your team in basketball, Yeah. Football, what I'm seeing right now is the legendary coaches, or the coaches who have had some real success, are the ones that are kind of winning right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to really see things change within the next 4 to 5 years as some of these. Look, Nick Saban just dropped off. Kirk Ferentz will be gone here probably pretty soon. A lot of our old school guys are starting to leave, right?
Yeah.
Then it's going to be about recruiting and consistency and what's your standard, kind of like what I was hearing Coach Saban talk about. I think who's going to really have a real huge advantage is, the Dabo Sweeneys, the Kirby Smarts, guys who have won championships, guys who have done it. It's going to be a pecking order to things. So I don't know. I think we're going to definitely see more, like Harrison said, we're going to see more over these next few years. It's really hard to predict what's going to happen, but I do feel like it's the wild, wild west right now. Things are going to start correcting as guys realize the grass ain't greener, and they're going to look back and go, damn, I should have stayed.
That's the part.
There's going to be some guys being able to tell their story like, listen, I left, and there's going to be a lot of these stories. I left, and it didn't get better for me. We're not hearing that right now.
Here's the last thing, man, because I think this is huge because we're talking about transfer portal. And to be honest, University of Nebraska basketball team has been the beneficiary of huge transfer portal gets that has literally changed, elevated the dynamic of what the Nebraska basketball program was and is on the way to be. The shellacking of the number one team in the country in Purdue over the weekend, they have to do it and show consistency. But what's your initial thoughts on what you saw Purdue, what Nebraska was able to do to a Purdue team that some haven't been able to do? Like, there's only been a couple of teams that's been able to do what this Nebraska team has been did to them over this the course of this time. That's scoring, shooting over 50%, and they've scored the most points of any Big Ten team against that team, over their tenure.
Well, the old saying, they say is styles make fights. Styles make fights. And one of the things you pointed out to me is, man, Nebraska almost beat Purdue twice last year.
Yeah.
So obviously, Coach has been able to put together a plan that fits well for Nebraska against Purdue. So that's one thing. They match up very well with Purdue, and they're very confident, obviously, when they play Purdue. But to add to what you're saying in regards to them being the beneficiary of the portal, it's a lot easier for the mayor to do it on the basketball court than it is, I'm just telling you, than it is for Coach Rule. I mean, it's just way more moving parts going on for football. Whereas basketball, again, if you can get a guy who's just a really great leader, a great energy guy. You get a couple of those, real confident, and it could be infectious. It could be infectious to all the other guys. And I think that's what you're seeing. You're seeing that happen at Nebraska. I mean, we hadn't seen this level of confidence and play in a Nebraska team for, I don't know, since Coach Miles' team who went to the NCAA.
Probably Petaway in that group, yeah.
So I just don't want to speak too soon and jinx them. Like, they're 13-3 right now, and I really would like to see them if they can get past Iowa, and because they're expected to win, right? How are they going to do against these teams that they're not expected, that they're expecting to beat? Can they be the hunter, still be the hunter versus the huntee? That's what Nebraska's going to have to get used to. People coming at them playing at a high level because they got a bullseye on their backs now.
No doubt about it. We're going to take a quick break now. We're going to do something fresh and new here on WTF We Talk Facts. Those who stuck around, stayed around, is going to be the beneficiary of what we're going to do going forward here on the show. We're going to call it WTF Moment of the Week. And we may have a special guest. We're going to see if he's able to pop in. It may be some time constraints, but it's a possibility of a great special guest. So if you stick around, stay around, you're going to be the beneficiary of two potential great things as we close out the segment here on WTF right now on 93.7, The Ticket FM.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Start 2024 off on a high note by loading up on meat and more at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Haviland. This week's special through January 16th is a Nebraska ground beef case sales. 12 one-pound packages of premium Nebraska ground beef for just $46.99 per case and $1.50 off all McClure's brand products. Plus, don't forget their two new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC. We'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Coppell. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Coppell. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at CoppellCars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G20768.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of your liberty in pursuit of your justice for those that have been injured. My name is Matt Knight, attorney with Liberty Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, call 877-42-LIBERTY. Our relentless trial attorneys are committed to the highest quality legal representation. At Liberty Law Group, we will fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Once again, that's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
This is Rick Heyman from Sartor Heyman Jewelers, inviting you to our new outlet jewelry store at 12th and O in downtown Lincoln. Amazingly, we still have fabulous items we bought 1 year ago and beyond. Well, you know what an outlet store is. Unbeatable prices throughout the store. Closeouts up to 70% off. Don't delay. When it's gone, it's gone. You won't see everything on our website, so you gotta come in. The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Opening November 25th in Lincoln at 12th and O.
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures. All things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Back to We Talk Facts on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Strick and Clester.
Wow. We have both surprises here on the final segment here. This is a WTF moment. We're going to share it with you, and then we're going to talk to our special guest. Keegan Johnson is joining us also on WTF, which is, we just spoke about him, but here's the WTF moment of the week.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court...
What the facts is going on right there out in Las Vegas? That's the WTF moment of the week. Man jump. Hey, listen, we should have signed him up for Nebraska basketball with the hops he had to jump over the whole front aspect of the judge's chair.
Look at that clearance.
Man, the clearance. Hey, listen, high jump, I don't care. Your track team, sign him up. WTF moment of the week. Clutch, what you think about the moment of the week before we get to Keegan?
My man showed a lot of athleticism, wow, that judge might want to check how she talking to people.
Some things. Rethink some things on the decision-making process there. Wow. There it is. Keegan Johnson joining us as well on WTF tonight, man. Clutch, you want to introduce the wonderful guest today?
You know, there's a lot of debate within the Johnson family who is the best athlete. And if I had to vote, I would say this young man has the potential to far exceed everyone. But, very smart, fast. And I must say, good-looking kid, very good-looking kid. Keegan Johnson.
Did he get that from you or did he get it from mama?
Be the judge for yourself. Be the judge.
Keegan Johnson, what's up, my friend? How are you? My brother, Unc Strick over here talking to you. What's happening?
Yo, you guys can hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
What's up, Unc? What's up, Tebow? Appreciate you guys having me on.
No doubt.
I mean, Keegan, did you call in or are you got your camera?
Oh, I didn't. You want me to turn my camera on?
Let people see your face, man.
I thought we were podcasting.
Yo, man, we on TV, man. We got Channel 9.
There he is.
On Allo, we on TV, we on stream, baby. We want to see your face, my man.
Look how good looking that guy is. Look at
So what's going on, man, down at K-State? Saw you make some big catches, man, in the biggest games, man. How you feeling about everything now as you made the move down there to K-State?
I feel good. I mean, like you said, I had some good moments this year, but Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a new experience for me. I felt like it was the right move for the things I want to accomplish in my football career. So I think it's been good so far, and I think the biggest thing is I'm looking forward to making more plays in the future, and I know it's more out there for me. So
I got a question for you, Keegan. Tell me how it's been since you've been in college managing football and also being a student athlete. Has that been tough, or do you feel like, I mean, initially was it tough, or how you been able to manage? Because y'all got a busy schedule. How do you do it?
Yeah. How do I do it? I think now that I've been in college for 3 years, it's pretty natural now with the time management. But when I first got to college, I think one of the nicest things about playing at the level that I play at, they give you so many resources that it's almost hard to like not stay on top of your stuff. You have a academic advisor, usually have a few student tutors. And then in our football facility, we have a study hall in our football facility. So I think they put it in your face. It's so blatant that, you got to handle schoolwork and football. So I think that was the biggest thing for me is just using the resources that they give you. I mean, they give you so many resources. They're great resources. It's free. It doesn't cost none. So I think that's the biggest thing is just taking advantage of the resources they give you and looking at guys who've been there for a few years already and following their lead. So I wasn't perfect with it at first though. It took me a little minute to catch on. Like you got to do school too. So
yeah. Well, here's we got 2 more questions for you, man, because we would love to get you on earlier because we got a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But I got a couple more questions for you. Here's the thing. Me and your dad had to hustle and grind. I was blessed to be able to play baseball. You live in an NIL generation where you got a little paperwork in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Pops had to have the parties on the block parties in order to make it happen back in the day. How do you feel about that, man? Just having not only the resources at school, but now you've got resources that you're able to do a little bit more as well in your pocket. How does that feel?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great because student athletes, generate millions of dollars for, a university. And I think it's great that a lot of people would argue that most of us are already on scholarship. So, that's a fair conversation. But I think it's, it's the right thing to do to let, student athletes benefit off, their playing success. And there's still obviously it's so new that there's still, some rocky parts about it and some undiscovered parts of the whole NIL thing. But I mean, I think it's great. And I think it's great for a lot of people that won't, have a good college careers, but won't pursue NFL or don't get that opportunity that others will, that they have that start into, their next pursuit in life, that they kind of, have a start with something they've earned and they don't just have nothing to show for it other than accolades. So, I mean, I think it's positive,
Okay.
Give last question and then we'll have to sign off. Go ahead, Clester.
The Big 12 is changing. You got Texas, Oklahoma leaving. You're gonna have some Colorado coming in. What do you think about the Big 12 next year and K-State's chances?
Yeah, well, I know we go to Colorado next year, so that's one that I've been excited for. Especially, I mean, that's such a cool opportunity. I get to be a part of. Go to Boulder while they're in their Dion era, so I'm excited. I look forward to that. But no, the whole landscape of the Big 12 and just college football in general it's pretty crazy right now, and it's kind of hard to keep up with these conferences and the playoff format and stuff like that. But I think it's exciting, honestly, with the movement, and I think it gives like teams like Houston and UCF like these good group of 5 teams that are now moving into Power 5. I think it gives them a good opportunity to see more athletes, and it also gives us an opportunity being in Kansas to travel to places like Houston and Orlando to play teams like UCF and stuff like that. So I mean, being a Big 12 athlete at K-State, I'm really excited about some of the teams that I wouldn't have maybe been able to play if they didn't move into the conference. And I like us next year. I mean, we got a good young quarterback in Avery who's can run. He's faster than me. I'm willing to admit that. And I think that adds a whole nother dynamic to the offense when you have to respect, the quarterback's legs. I think that helps receivers, that helps the running back, just helps the offense in general. And we had a pretty young defense this year, so we get a good amount of people back on defense. So, I mean, I'm excited, to see what we look like next year. We'll have a few new coaches on the offensive side, and it's going to be a new journey. But I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Yo, we're proud of you, Keeg, man. You keep it up, man. Just keep grinding. There's so much more in store for you, man. And so we're going to definitely be checking you out, man. We thank you for taking your time to pop into WTF tonight. We'll have to have you back as you continue to grow in your success, man. Continue on the grind that you're on. We love you, man.
Appreciate you, E. Love you, Unc. All right, Dad.
Love you.
Shout out. Hey,
I'll see you soon.
We love all you guys that have chimed in, tapped in right here on WTF. We Talk Facts. Clester Johnson, E. Strick, Austin Arms. We'll see you next week right here on WTF.